Hello there, it's Geoff Barton. I'm General Secretary of the Association of School and College Leaders. I represent 20,500 head teachers, trust leaders, deputy heads, assistant head teachers, people who are essentially the guardians of young people, business leaders as well, who are the guardians of the finances and the premises and so on and so forth. I'm very pleased to join you for your international virtual conference today. And just to say a couple of things, really. I mean, this is extraordinary times, isn't it? I think it was it Vladimir Lenin who said there are decades when nothing happens, there are weeks when decades happen. Time is kind of blurring together here, and as we hurtle into what feels like it's going to be a very long and very difficult winter, I think probably what we're craving is a sense of what schools and what colleges can do. And I think one of the things we've seen they can do is they can reconnect human beings, and nowhere does that mean more, it seems to me, when you talk about careers and preparing young people for their opportunity to step into the world, to take their place as global citizens. And of course, there are all kinds of resources which can help to do that. But it does seem to me that we are going to, at the end of all of this, when we wave goodbye to face masks and self-isolation and all that other paraphernalia and language of all of this, we're going to be reminded that what schools and colleges do is they allow the older generation to help pass on to the younger generation the knowledge and the skills that they're going to need to take their place. And that's when you get into careers education, and what we know from primary age onwards is that ability within what can sometimes be the hermetically sealed world of a school for a young person to get a glimpse into a different world, a different career, something they wouldn't have encountered through their own background. That's something that great teachers and other staff in schools routinely do. And that, it seems to me, is about creating the space for that. It's about showing this matters. It's not being so reliant on the stuff we can measure, but actually reminding ourselves that in schools there's things which aren't easily measured. The encounters, the conversations, the laughter around things, the bits that happen in the margins of the school day, those conversations in corridors, those lessons which allow us to go off at tangents, all of that I think is going to matter even more. And what I'm hoping as an association is we can help to come out the other side and say, you know, this is the opportunity for us to value more some of those things in education. It shouldn't just be about the EBAC. It shouldn't just be this obsession with the narrow metrics of exams. It has to be also what's the knowledge, what's the skills, what's the experience. You know all of that because that is very much your world. And I hope that the other thing we can do is to get away from this fixation of essentially defining young people by grades. I mean, the English education system particularly has demonstrated that with its results fiasco here. And I think this is an opportunity for us to step beyond the clanging echo chamber of educationalists, because we've got parents and employers and other people who have seen how narrow our GCSE system is in particular. You know, even in normal days, a third of young people after 12 years of being taught by their primary, their early years, their secondary teachers, their middle school teachers, whoever they happen to be, after 12 years, for one of those children to get a grade 3, what does that feel like? Grade 3 isn't a standard pass. And I said to Education Minister, if grade 4 is a standard pass at GCSE, what does that make grade 3 after 12 years? To which he said, presumably it's a good fail. We really have to do better than this. We can't have a forgotten third of young people who at the end of those 12 years haven't got the dignity of a qualification they can hold up. So what we need to do is to stop thinking in terms of dividing the world into academic and vocational and technical, and instead perhaps go back to that great concept of the Tomlinson report, which was talking about an overarching diploma under which there would be qualifications. Some might be technical, some might be academic, if we're going to call them that, but there would be other things. There would be your work experience. There would be the community service you might have done. There would be the charity work that you might have done. There's the Duke of Edinburgh Award scheme that you might have done. Can't we now, at a time when we're celebrating the humanity in our schools, celebrate the humanity of our young people in a more rounded way? You know all about that. I'm hoping this is the opportunity that we, with you, can try and make some of those ideas into even more of a reality. Have a great conference, and thank you very much for inviting me along on behalf of the Association of School and College Leaders.